I'd like to thank very especially Comrade Harrison Ezeko. Harrison, thank you for coming. We also have with us in the studio the former president of Network of Civil Society Organization of Nigeria, constitutional and human rights lawyer, Barrister Abraham Obiawe. Many thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's get started. As I say, charity begins at home. But by the way, we're expecting Daniel Ihile to join this conversation. I'm sure he'll be here any moment from now. Let's get a conversation on cause. Opposition remains a veritable tool in shaping governance. Some say that's a major tool or one of the key pillars of democracy because it helps to bring out the best from the government in power. Some say, well, right now in Edo State, there is a complete absence of opposition in terms of engaging government of the day on issues just to ensure that it shapes up and gets some cause. We recall in the days of yore when the APC was in government, we recall the roles that the PDP under the leadership of Chief Dan Obi played on several fronts, on several issues. That seems to be non-existent in the state at the moment. Let's get started with you, Abraham Obiawe. What does this portend for the development of the state, as it were?
First, we must appreciate the fact that one of the beauty of democracy is the ability to air your view and engage the system. It's part of why democracy is robust. When individuals are elected into a position of authority, what keeps them going, what makes democracy thrive is that engagement and in a certain aspect, that constructive criticism, calling their attention to what they were doing. But unfortunately today in Edo State, that aspect of respect to engagement and constructive criticism from the opposition, which is known across the world when a government is in power, that's why I've often said that there's a thin line between the opposition parties in power and the civil society. But the difference is that whereas the opposition party, their engagement is geared towards taking over power, present themselves, and for the civil society, primarily for reshaping the society for a better deal. Today in Edo State, that is 100% collapsed. That is where the APC led, the APC leadership in Edo State have been unable to measure up. There are critical issues for which we expect them to interface. And again, it may also be that they are dazzled by the ineptitude of the APC at the national level and the hardship it has caused to Nigerians. So it becomes a moral issue. If at that level your party has failed to bring the best for the Nigerians, considering the inflation rates, considering how they got into power and what they have made out to Nigerians as the quality of what they can deliver, maybe they are dazzled by that moral issue, the conscience issue of how justifications. But again, itself, like you rightly mentioned, in the days of Danobi, you expect that on every issue, he puts the government on their toe. And again, whether you like it or not, that in itself awakening the consciousness of Edo people, open their eyes to the realities of the moment. And despite the effort of that government, we are able to see that balance for which what the government have not done rightly are brought to the fore. That in itself, if that government is fair to itself, help to guide and shaping the quality of the delivery to Edo people. That is currently absent, and that in itself weakens and creates dictatorial tendencies from leadership when that engagement in itself is no longer there. Politicians are tailored and wired in a manner to be reckless in our climb, but with that level of engagement, it has a way of reshaping them and putting them on their toe. I feel that is required as soon as yesterday in Edo State, because there are a whole lot of issues when you drive a system that do not give popular participation a space, you do not open it up for collective engagement and contributions. You take the decisions arising from your whips and caprices without appreciating the fact that you are elected into power to serve the people and not to serve yourself, driving the state into a huge capitalist arrangement without having the opposition to give quality engagement is as good as saying we are running a one-party state, one party state in a dodo state. And I feel that moving forward to give that quality of the direction for our politics, we expect that we must have quality engagement, constructive criticism, and put the government of the day while they veer out of that direction which ought to bring the collective good for our people. It has a way of bringing them back.
Okay. Thank you very much, Pastor Abraham of Yahweh. Harrison, is this seeming absence of opposition, in terms of engaging the government of the day, what would you say is largely responsible?
Well, in an ideal situation, in an ideal society, opposition have a role to play. And if you look at the Western countries, developing countries, they play a very important and a positive role. But down in our country, in Nigeria, you see opposition, their aim within the country is how they will get back to power. Whether the government is doing right, the government is not doing right, that is not really their problem. They are looking for where to put the government down. They are looking for loophole where they can run the government down so that people can see the government in a bad light. So that when they have the opportunity, when election comes, they might have one or two things to now say, okay, this is where we are campaigning. Back to Edo State. You see, Edo State government have not stopped anybody, any political party, not to give credence to government, not to have something to say about government. They have the right. But if they seem not to be saying anything, it is either the government is doing well, they have nothing to say, or the people that is also at the helm of affair at the party level are not also the right persons. Because when you are bringing people on board when it comes to the level of political party, most times the party don't look at the competence of the person. They don't look at what the person can offer. If you want to bring people into that level, these people that can actually articulate, look at issues, that can speak to issues. Not persons who may be at the level of admin, their own background, have nothing to do with what is on ground. So you don't need to expect much. For me, I think the reason why both even the civil society and the opposition, the APC opposition in the state, are not really saying much is because the government is performing. It's because the government is doing what is right. So if you see that there's no need to actually make comments and you discover that the person on ground, the person at the center is doing what he's supposed to do, I don't think there is much to say. But that is not to say that the government have done everything. That is not to say that the government have gotten to Eldorado. The government still have much to do. And we as citizens, even we are members of the party, if we say things that are not going on, it's our duty to speak out. So I think that the party, the APC as a party, the leadership of the party, should sit down and look at this government and look at areas where there will be collaboration and suggest to government what they feel that government should do to make things better. Not the last press conference they did. You saw the press conference that was called. I was surprised they were calling for state of emergency. How? Is there war in Edo State? Is anybody dying? Is there fight? That tells you that the people on ground at that level, they are far from what is supposed to be. Instead of them to look at issues that people will now understand that these people are actually here, they know what is happening. They were just talking about something different. And you saw the condemnation everywhere. I was listening to radio, people were saying, what are they saying? It wasn't in line with what is on ground. It shows that they were not part and parcel of what is going on. So I think that the Edo State government is doing well, and Edo State government have not stopped any group, whether civil society, whether the opposition party, whether individuals or even market women, not to speak to government, not to oppose what they are doing. They think that what they are doing, they are not doing it well. If there are issues within the government, if there are things you feel that is not going down well with the society, it's your duty to speak, but speak truth to power. not saying things that is not on ground. Because when you begin to raise issues that is not on ground, the people knows the truth. They won't take you seriously. But if the issues are the real issue that is on ground and is affecting everybody, you will see the support from the ordinary person. So I think it's their role. If they not be doing it, they should wake up and look at governance and look at the area. They can suggest positively constructive criticism. Nobody is saying you should not talk against government. No. This government have not said so. It's your right to speak, but say what is on ground.
Okay.
Don't begin to say things that is not on ground, and the people will not take you seriously. I think that is where I feel
that's our curtain raiser on the discussion today. We'll take a short break, and our third guest will join this conversation as we take it to the next level. It's the TMI Monday with yours sincerely. Stay with me.
TMI, every opinion counts.
Thanks again for staying with us on the program this morning on ITV as we look at governance in Edo State and the quality of opposition coming forth. And that's against the background that opposition is very key in entrenching democracy and sustaining good governance. It's not the first time that we'll see opposition playing active role in the governance in Edo State. For some people, the absence or seeming absence of opposition or quality opposition at that is because of the performance of the present administration. For others, it is not connected with performance. It's just because perhaps the opposition party in the state is able to galvanize itself to forge a common front to engage government on policies and programs as it affects the people. My panelists are here. Bryce Abraham Bavia, once again, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Harrison Izeko, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And the new entrant, Daniel Igile. Dan, thank you for coming. So let me get you into the package, into the program right away. The semi-absence of governance for some, there is a correlation between performance and the semi-absence of governance. I mean, the semi-absence of opposition in Edo State. What's your take?
Well, in the act of governance, performance or non-performance has nothing to do with having an opposition. It is an integral part of democracy for there to be a party that will form the government and a party that will form the opposition. Where the opposition is not present, the party that has formed the government will not act in the interest of the people. Now, there is what is known as the national interest and every other personal interest. National interest overrides and supersedes every other personal interest. In this case, the interest of the Edo people. Whether you are in opposition, whether you are the government in power, the interest of the Edo people is what is paramount. And so those that ought to have formed the opposition that have not formed it, they ought to know that it's all in the interest of the Edo people. If the government that has formed the party that has formed government are acting, if they are not reminded, if they are not made to understand their own program, if the pulse of the people is not being felt, if feedback is not coming from the people, the government that is in power will not know whether it's acting properly in the interest of the people of Edo State or not. And so therefore, it is an integral part of democracy for there to be opposition. The opposition will make the government that is in power to understand its own problem. They will understand that it's an alternate opinion. If the essence of opposition is not met, which is just to check and put the government in power on seats, on top of their seats, they would relax, the government in power will relax in their overseas, they will carry out programs that will not be in the interest of the people of Edo State. In this case, the governor of Edo State today acts in his own self-interest, not in the interest of Edo, because all the MOUs we have seen signed in the first tenure have not materialized into developmental projects. We have seen a lot of groundbreakings that have not become, a developmental project that we can earmark, that we can see. This is because there is a relax in the side of persons that also the party that ought to have from the opposition party. The APC is my party. They ought to have formed the opposition party. But I'm disappointed that we do not have a visible voice speaking against and making the government to sit properly for the interest of
Don't you think that's unconnected with the fact that perhaps your party is overwhelmed by the level of performance of the governor to the point that they don't see any need to bring forth any opposition? And you speaking this way, you could just be seen as a loner on this trajectory.
That's not true. That's not true. My party has some level of internal wranglings that have been settled. And I'm sure this year you will see a more organized APC, a more formidable OPC. Okay. Those internal wranglings, we have gone through the process of having to do our congresses and do a lot of things. And right now we have a formidable front. The state executives are in place, and I'm sure you will see a lot of opposition. Okay. But the thing that we ought to know, it is not because the government is performing, that is why the APCs are not talking. As a matter of fact, it is laughable for you to say the government of today is performing. It's very laughable. Okay. Because there's no project on ground that shows he's
let me pause you there. I'll come back to you in a moment. Barrister Ofiawe, what do you say about supposedly the major opposition party in the state, their lack of or seeming lack of quality opposition in engaging the government of the day? Would you say it's self-inflicted, or they are overwhelmed by the things on the ground?
First, like my brother Danigile has mentioned that they had internal wrangling. But to my mind, I am not concerned about that. I'm looking at it from the perspective, if you have been a government in power and another party currently has taken over, by realities they are yet to realize that they are in your position. Maybe the 8 years they spent in power or more, that's about 12 years they spent in power, has bemused their perspective as to what to do at this time. If you ask me, my view is that they must wake up from their ideological slumber. The reality on ground is that there are so much issues for which we expect them to address. Because that has been the template. And like we have rightly said, the Danobi-led PDP as an opposition in the state opened the eyes of Edo people to a whole lot of issues, and for which the government in power in itself, whether they agree or not, was reshaped. To my mind, the Muse-led APC administration, I don't even know if the party has a publicity secretary. I don't know, because to my mind, in the last few months, I have not seen one publication from the publicity secretary. To my mind, I feel that if we do not have this engagement, this quality engagement, the government we have in place, which is driving the state to capitalism, we will not hold the brake. And I feel that we need that quality of proposition. And I say this, it is either like I've rightly said earlier, either they are dazzled by the ineptitude of the APC-led federal government and the quality of service they have brought to Nigerians, the hardship and which they are also being affected. Maybe possibly that they have been dazzled by that reality. And as such, there is a moral issue. Their conscience precludes them from not speaking. And like the man said the other day, we are bemused to hear them talking about a state of emergency. And that shows some level of delusional thought. How do you wake up in the morning rather than address radical issues, being in front border of Edo politics, waking up from your slumber to say that you declare a state of emergency in Edo State? Speak to issues. And don't speak because possibly they suddenly just woke you up from your slumber and say you are sleeping in Edo, you need to say something. And from the side they woke up, they needed to quickly put something down and say, let's go for a state of emergency. I feel that they must go back to the drawing board and know that there's a duty on them as an opposition party to speak, to engage the process. If not, when it's time for election, they have no moral justification to say that the government of the day have not done X, Y, Z. What did they say in 4 years? Suddenly wake up because it's an election year. I feel that we must appreciate putting other claims into perspective, putting other jurisdictions into perspective, what opposition can do to make government better. And that in itself is a quality of democracy. When you talk about democracy, you're talking about popular participation, talking about engagement, talking about constructive criticism, and these are the nitty-gritties for which democratic tenets are imbibed and for which administrations are reshaped. I think they don't need that from the opposition party currently. They must speak to the core, because those who have apparently had the voice to speak in the past are now on the table eating, and you know they say it's bad habit to speak while eating, so you do not expect them. Those issues for which the likes of Danobi, the likes of the provincial secretary of PDP were on the front burner and speaking. What have happened in the state as we speak, but they have lost their voice. It behoves on the opposition to speak, and the civil society. I agree very strongly that quality of opposition have a way of reshaping governance. Okay. That is lacking today in Edo State. Okay. And the APC-led leadership in Edo State must wake up from the ideological slumber.
Okay, let me pause it there. A whole lot has come forward. I'm sure Harrison has been waiting the fringes to react to some of this issue, that the seeming absence of opposition is not because so much of performance has taken place. There are a whole lot of loopholes, a whole lot of areas where governance has not really lived up to expectation. What's your take on this?
Well, I will not want to join issues with my senior brother this morning. You see, we have gotten to a stage in life that when you come out to speak on issues, you have to first remember that people watch us and don't see what is on ground. The issue of the opposition not speaking, I've said it before that they don't really have much to say. Based on the fact that the government is performing, they don't have anything to say. We were talking about that the MOU have not
you talked about MOUs and
it's not favorable, my brother. You were screening your screen just now that the government have finally arrangement have been put in place by the federal government to officially commence operation on your Oswomo power plant. These are the product of MOU. We cannot just say things because we want to talk. Our modular refinery, all these things have been completed. You need the same federal government being led by the same APC. It's giving problem for the common man where they will benefit from. The same government led by their party. You said the government have done nothing. I want you to walk through our Central Park. In your country, in the whole of Nigeria, go and see what is happening there. When people just come out and tell you the government have done nothing, it's funny. So if the government is doing what it needs to do, its performance is very glaring, it's following governor the way it's supposed to be, and the opposition believe that, what else can we say? Let's just allow him to do his work. Will you go and beat them? And the state government have not said the opposition party should not oppose what it's doing. They are very clear. But he who come to equity must come with clearance. If you want to speak to power, if you want to speak against what the government is doing, say things that are realistic. Say things that are on ground. So that the common man in the street of Benin, we understand that this man have a point. But not to wake up in the morning and say that they should declare state of emergency in the state, a peaceful state. We just finished the Utah. Is there any place within this state that you heard that there was a gunshot? It's probably the most peaceful state in the state, in Nigeria. Then the opposition party will just wake up in the morning and tell you, declare state of emergency. Like my brother said, maybe they have to just quickly wake them up and put a script together and say, go and read it. And the man didn't even need to assimilate what he was going to go to read to the public. Sir, they don't have much to say. I am not saying that the civil society or the opposition do not have right to speak to power. And those state government have never opposed them, they have never disturbed them, they have their right, they have their choice. If they have anything to say, they are free. Let them bring it to the table. Opposition in this country is in the truth, but even when we are talking about the issue of the Danopi and all that, are we really speaking truth to power? No! Most time is to make sure they roll the government down. Most times to make sure they don't even want the states to work, so that they will have things to campaign. That's why I'm saying that this society, they have a serious role to play. But in our country, Nigeria, the only thing opposition want to do is how they will get back to power. Is how they will come up with loopholes so that they can get back to power. So the NPC should wake up to their responsibility. look at areas within the state that they feel that this government is not actually doing well. Let them bring to the forefront. The governor is a listening governor. He will listen to them. If their issues are genuine, their issues are true, then the governor will do something about it. But for now, for anybody to come here and say that the government is not performing, is not doing anything, we all live in this state now. We should learn to also accept some certain things if our party is not performing.
Okay. Dan, the feeling is that the seeming lack of presence in terms of opposition on the part of the APC, your party, is self-inflicted.
Well, I would not want to batter words on performance or non-performance, because we are not in an election year, we are not campaigning. But let's speak to the issues. The issues are very glaring. My brother here has said good things about his party. It's natural. But how do you look at a party who a government who after 1 year of being in government ought to have had 22 on his own, created 22 ministries. And those 22 ministries ought to have been occupied and controlled and directed by commissioners. Today he has 11. After 1 year, he already brought in stooges. I'm sorry to say.
Stooges or commissioners?
Oh, okay, sorry, commissioners.
Commissioners, yeah.
Commissioners.
Yes.
And had 11 of them. The other 11 is a far cry. Nothing is happening. How do you call a man who ought to be serving the people to go to a monumental building, a building that was commissioned by Lucky Igbenedion, and turn it to, you have stock brokerage there, you have library there. Library is where where people, eggheads, go to develop their brains. This has to do with the future of Edo. He went and brought it down. And what is he going to bring? What is he going to bring there? He's going to bring Eatery. Tell me, what has Eatery got to do with the future of Edo? Can you compare Eatery and developing a people? If I am not literate, I will not be sitting down here. I read in the Augusta Library. I studied there. We not have no access to online studies. Yeah. And there are a lot of books that are from the archives that are not online, that are still in that, supposed to have been in that library. But not talk about the money that was expended there. Not talk about everything in government that was, he brought it down. And what is he going to bring? He's going to bring Eatery. Gentlemen, let us look at all the things that are anti the people that the government of today is doing. All the things that are anti the people. And I have to say, there are no visible opposition because of the wrangling that the APC had. I am not excusing them. They ought to come to the fore. They ought to really tell the governor as it is, because the overall interest of Edo people is what we are interested in.
Would you say that the current leadership of your party has the capacity to effectively initiate and sustain quality opposition against the background that what seems like the first attempt has been heavily criticized with the cause for the declaration of state of emergency in Edo State?
We have intellectuals. The man who is the chairman of APC Edo State is a medical doctor, and he is a military man, retired. The secretary is an engineer. We have the PRO is a highly intelligent person. Everybody knows him. If we have had issues and we have been deviled by that issues, those issues are over. This year, 2022, you see a formidable opposition.
Okay.
And it's going to be speaking to the issues.
Okay. Let me pause you there.
But before I forget, sir, a rest issue concerning the library.
Yes.
You see, that's a product of MOU. As I speak with you, sir, I'm coming, sir. You said the building have been brought down.
Yes.
The other governors have come to this state. They have been fighting to bring ShopRite to Edo State. Now the MOU have brought them. The library, as I speak with you, is at a new building behind, opposite the bar house. And that's a building there. You are not close to government. You don't have the information. On top of that ShopRite, the third floor, that is where we are going to have the library. And it's going to be soundproof.
It's laughable.
I'm coming, sir. Coming. You know, when you say things, that building was underutilized. You have a private bank there, and these people that was there, it was not used. Now that we are putting it to place, you will see what is going to happen there, and you're going to see the number of employment that is going to be created in that place. So the government is very systematic. The government is objective, And what he's doing, Edo people are in line with him.
Okay, let me get to you. The point I wanted to raise is, in your opinion, what are those critical areas of gap that you think that opposition ought to have been alive, whether at the level of a political party or at the level of the civil society?
The point is very clear. We must appreciate the style of leadership we have when democracy, and what are the ingredients, the nitty-gritties, what makes democracy tick. Those are what we should act. For example, the current government in Edo State does not believe in popular participation, in the sense that in terms of issues that drive populism. But if you ask me, to destroy a library is an attack on intellectualism. It's a direct attack on intellectualism. How do you demolish a library and bring a departmental store? And now you are not saying, I'm just hearing this now, that the departmental store will be at the lower floor, the library will be on top. Is that not in itself distraction? A man is going to read. He sees distractions in the first place before even getting into the library. That shows that, and again, we are hearing from the sideline. In a democracy, the people have a right to contribute to governance in itself. I expect that this should be a very critical issue for which there should be critical engagement from stakeholders. That's one. Then two, sir, the central hospital is being demolished for a motor park. Does that make it? I see no sense in it. For a motor park, and that motor park will share boundary with an existing hospital, which is capitalistic in nature, that is not accessible to even the poorest of the poor. It shares a border fence again on the other end with the High Court. That ought to be a serene environment. And again, with the House of Assembly, you just sit at the comfort of your office without engaging us. Someone can look up to me and say, who told you it's a motor park? When you do not engage the people and put the blueprint of what you intend to do on the front burner, as required in a democracy, we are at liberty to take any information we get as being the true position of it. I've just been told that on one breath, that the library has been moved behind the
location. The library is still there.
On the other strength, the library is coming back to the same place, but will be on top of a departmental store. So when I finish shopping, I finish eating and enjoying my
you go and read.
I'll go and read.
You have the energy to read.
Also go and read. It's laughable. And in any event, why congesting the departmental store in that location that is already a little choked? Why don't you open it elsewhere, where further the development, it attracts the development. The presence of that attracts the development. And in itself, why putting it at that point? The goods that are to be sold there, are they made in Edo or made in Nigeria? For which you will say that is on the distribution of our homemade goods. That in itself makes a lot of sense. Is it owned by the state? The answer is no. It still falls to driving the state to a capitalist arrangement at the detriment of core for us who believe in the intellectual world. We feel that to destroy a library in itself is a direct attack on intellectualism. I feel beyond that, as it were. What is the performance index of the current governor of the state? My brother talked about the Central Park. From my own point of view, if you are to assess performance, it's quality of what you have on ground versus cost. You can build mansions, you can build a Central Park that can compete veritably with other Central Parks in the world. At what cost? Do you need to take my blood and the blood of children yet unborn to build a park without letting me know at what cost? These are issues I expect the opposition to interrogate. Government have a duty to put infrastructure. They have a duty to build roads. They have a duty to do what people want, but at what cost? The reason why that question is most important, because it is done at using taxpayers' money. Because these government officials, all in all, they feed with our money, they earn from our money, we secure them at our cost, they eat at our cost, they travel at our cost, they serve us at our cost. We have a duty to know at what cost. Until you let us know the quality of what you do versus the cost of achieving it, it is not sufficient for us to say the government is doing excellently well. That is the duty of opposition. They must interrogate. They must interrogate and ensure that the people who they serve are at equilibrium. Until that is done, the opposition will not have been said to have done anything. I want to use something to call on the opposition in a dodo state. They must wake up from their ideological slumber. They must wake up from their slumber. They must wake up from their slumber. Because when the elephant places his foot on the mouse and you say you are neutral, I don't want to speak on it, the mouse will not appreciate your neutrality at the detriment of its life. I feel they must rise up to the occasion. That is not to exonerate the civil society from the department we belong to, from engaging the system. But I feel very strongly that as we fall within a perspective of critical engagement as against opposition party, first that have been in government, if they have served well, they should understand the runnings, the do's and don'ts of governance. You use that as a template for assessing the current government. At what cost are this development coming to those states?
All right, so Harrison, yeah, I'm sure you got a comment on that. Yes, quickly before I
anyway, but my brother is a lawyer, so I will not blame him. He wouldn't understand the economic viability of bringing a shop right to Edo State.
I'm putting a library on top of the
I'm coming, sir. Go to developed country. We don't, before today, that place is a commercial place. Even when the library was there. We have a bank there, that is where I bank with. The other place is top. It's a commercial place. Was the library not there? I am telling you that just go and see the plan that is there. It is because we are far from what is okay. Everything is displayed there. The third roof of that place is a soundproof library. As I said, the library is in existence. The library was only moved from that location to the building behind Palm House there to enable them build the place. So the place has been designed for other activities. The first floor is for the ShopRite. Then the other floor is for other business activities that will come there. And the other place for the library. So if you have a shopping mall in a central place that different activities are there. No, that's not whatever you want to do.
I'm just thinking that there was supposed to be a shop right by, is it Dumaze Junction or Sapler Road?
The people that was to build that then, it was brought in by the former governor, that's Oshomole. But they test the soil. That place was not okay. And moreover, it was not at the city center. You don't bring in a shop right to a segregated location because people need to come. You need to be in a central place so that everybody can easily access it.
Okay.
So those who are coming to do business, they're coming to do business. It's partnership. And those state government have their role. And the person that is coming to invest, we need to look at the area where the investment can easily grow. So we don't have any issue with everything that's going to be put in place. Like I told you, the building is underutilized. We have been in this state. We know that building was made for a very long time before the bank had to come in and all that. So everything within that place is going to, even the bank will still come, but there will still be a space for them because it's very big and other areas there. So the Edo State government, like I said before, have not said the opposition party should not speak truth to power if they have anything to say. If they are keeping quiet, if they are folding their hands, it is because the performance of the governor have been their imagination. So they don't really have much to say. So the best thing is just, okay, let's give him support so he can continue with what he's doing. But when I talk about cost, you see, go to Edo State website. Just go to Edo State website. Every project they are doing, the cost is there. It's not an easy thing. When they are doing openly, the cost is there. So it's not that maybe the project is overinflated or they don't want people to know. No, it's in the public domain. It's just that we don't want to lay our hands on this information.
We don't want to read. We don't want to have access information.
It's there. If nobody said, if you can go to the mission, they will tell you. There's nothing to hide. If there's any government that is transparent, it's this government. The cost is there. Even people within the party, they know. So whether the cost is not the issue is that is this project there. Thank God we have agreed that at the Central Park, something is happening there. Very soon we are going to commission. But you are talking about the cost. I'll give you an assignment this morning that if you live here,
as the headmaster of this program,
go on your own, go and check, it's there. So that when we are coming, we should come with information. No, it's in the public domain.
Okay.
So let us look at the government from the angle of performance. That is why even the civil society and the opposition party are not really doing much, because what they're supposed to talk about is being tackled. They talk about the issue of commissioner. Well, 11 commissioners have been sworn in. Any moment from now, the government will sworn in the other 11. We know that some of this delay is as a result of the new party moving. You know, just before the election, the APC said they don't need the governor any longer. They don't need performance, so they have to push him out. And the governor have to pick to the PDP. You understand that the party, you also came to meet people on their issues. And those issues have been resolved now. The issue of the manager have been resolved. So the other commissioners will be appointed. And for now, it's not causing any problem because the permanent secretary is doing what they need to do. So there's no gap at all. But that is not to say that they should not be appointed. Okay. And I'm assuring you that any moment from now, you'll see the list in the public.
All right, there's something you want to add to that now. Okay, quickly. So we can call it wrap.
I like to say that if you say the government of today is performing, then I will begin to wonder if you are ready. Because the whole idea is that the governor, one thing that beats me on is that why will a governor who himself is supposedly a product of education, he went to school, would attack the education of the Edo people? For instance, you have College of Agric, Igwerami, is totally not in existence. He met it and it's not in existence. Nobody, no student is there today.
But is he under construction?
Go and see what is happening there.
It's not. If it's
have you been there recently? Just a moment.
You don't have to interject.
No, just Harris, hold on. Have you been there recently? Have you been there recently?
The whole idea is there was an existing school. Students had enrolled for a project, and the project has for a course of study, and it has duration, and they were stopped. Abruptly told to go away from the school. The University of Education at what's it called? Ekedolo. Ekedolo is moribund. Ekedolo has nothing there. It's even an understatement to say it is moribund. It's non-existent. The man has attacked the education of Edo. He would wish that the Edo are not intelligent. He would wish that the average Edo man does not go to school. And that's our pride. That's what we like. I can speak today to the people of Edo because I'm educated. And that's all we have. We might not have money. It might be a civil service state, but we are highly educated. If he is an Edo man, I challenge him to ensure that the monuments of Edo education he made, he should stop attacking it. He should leave it the way it is. If he cannot add to it, he should leave it the way it is. He has destroyed the educational system. And that's too bad. That's too bad. And that's why I am not excusing my party for not rising up to continue to tell him the ills. And I equally would want to call on the civil society to rise up and tell man that Edo is our state. We do not have another one. Okay. The APC should rise up. Edo is our state. Okay. The people of Edo is what is paramount.
It's possible, like someone said.
Sorry, the statement is waiting. The issue of destroying.
Okay.
I want my brother to go to the State School of Nursing. Before the government came, I'm coming. You look at what you are saying. Look at what you are saying.
Are there students?
Have you been there? Have you been there?
That shows that you are not here. It shows you are not here.
He's not where? In Edo State?
In Edo State. State School of Nursing, before the governor came in, most of the courses are not be accredited. The building was dilapidated. Go and see what is happening there. They have resumed. The first set of students have already entered. College of Agriculture. A school where the courses were not accredited. The governor came on board. How can somebody go to school for 3 years and that certificate you cannot use elsewhere because of the school was not standard? As I speak with you, sir, that project is 70% completed. He said they are not working. College of Education in Ekedolo, it was the then governor, that's Oshomole. That school was running. Who wake up one morning and said that it's not going to be a University of Education without any plan. He only changed the name. And because of those problems, they tried to, he ended this government. What would this government do? And I said, okay, since they've already moved the school from there, let's decentralize. Go to Abudu. College of Education of Abudu has been built to standard. That is where they are moving the students, and they want to Igwebe. Now the federal government have taken over Ekedolo, Ogawe. The students, they waited until the last of the students graduated. That is why I said we are not with you. What we want is on ground. I'm telling you now.
Stop interjecting now.
The last set of students there, The state government waited until they graduated. It's not misinformation. These are information on the public domain. The last set graduated. My younger sister, my friend worked there. The only issue then is with the lecturers, which I feel that
the lecturers have not been paid for more than 30
I agree with you. I agree with you.
They're all at home.
Okay, wait. I agree with you. I don't misinform myself. I don't deceive myself. The only issues is with the issue of the lecturers. And some of them were told to go to that ministry. Some refused, which we are saying that the government will look into that and move some of them to Abudu and Igwebe. The federal government has since taken over that place. They told us that they will start operation in October last year. The federal government of APC. And the governor made sure that the road needed to be played, the road he was supposed to play, he had done his own part. As we speak, the federal government have not commenced the operation of the Federal University of Education in that place. You are blaming the Edo State government? It was your then governor who woke up and created all this problem. The school was running. How can you say you are moving the school to become a university without any plan?
By raising to universities is not problem.
It was a wrong decision. Everybody knows that. He only did that because of Iyamo, so that to appease the Edo people. Iyamo was built and completed from scratch. Then the way you were changing this name, you did not build one store.
Was it not in existence before?
Okay, wait now. Before you move College of Education to a center of a university.
All right, gentlemen. Let's not make it a political debate.
It's a debate.
I want us to stay on course. Yeah.
We need to tell the public.
I want us to stay on course. Dan, just like he raised a fundamental issue, Iyamo and Ekadolo were giving birth to at the same time. Today, Iyamo is a standard university. A Ekadolo that even has structures arising from being a college of education has, taken 10 years back. But that's a matter for another day.
He said I should react.
Yes, yeah, I didn't want you to react because you reacted before he started talking. You reacted before he started talking.
My point is this.
You reacted because you stirred up this discussion.
You stirred up Iyamo.
Yes.
Iyamo, the university college, the university at Iyamo.
Yes.
Was starting from the scratch.
Yes.
And so there was groundbreaking and structural.
So which one would have been easier to build?
Ekadolo was already in existence.
Exactly.
It was a college of education.
Yes.
That the House of Assembly passed
so
a law.
which one was easier? Which one would have been easier to build? That's the question.
The board of governor was constituted.
All that is
structures were already
done.
So what now happened?
Contracts were already awarded.
What now happened?
It was stopped by His Excellency the Governor.
There is no evidence of that.
Stop what?
What we have evidence to.
Stop where?
Just what we have evidence.
Students were admitted.
Just hold on that.
The very year
what we have evidence.
He drove them away midway.
I
have a friend who was living away midway.
Already in existence.
Simple.
As a college of education.
They were giving birth to the same day.
They were not giving birth to the
same day.
Where infrastructures there, where buildings there, all
lecturers, everything were there.
Even without maybe
spending money,
structures or maybe spending money, the university could have taken place. But that didn't happen. But here we are, a brand new university
built and completed,
was built from scratch to finish.
Does that explain why he should ask the student to go and close the school?
No student went home. All the students graduated.
Okay, is that a genuine excuse?
Let me just post.
All the students graduated. No students went home.
Can I get something from you?
I really want to get myself into a tango in all those issues. But the point is clear. The point is clear. The summary of this is that there are issues. That's the summary of this, and that there are issues. And the issues touches on patriotism. The government or in political science they call it privilegialism. When you see every government, the then Adams Oshiomhole wanted his own community to have a university. It happens across the board in Nigeria. Every government, when they come into power, they want to drive development to their own area, as it were. But the point I'm trying to make, but when you do this, you must put the interest of the Edo people in perspective. Iyamo was built from scratch to finish. Beautiful place. Beautiful place. And the government of this ensured that that school was running. And it's still running. But you know now, I think the first set, I think they have graduated.
Yes.
Already? Yeah. On NYSC, do their stuff.
Yeah.
If the University of Education, Ekadolo, cannot proceed, why? How about the College of Education?
They are existing now.
Hold on now.
Just hold
the
on.
question-
Hold on now.
Just hold on. Just hold on. Yeah.
Hold on. You say that if you say that,
have removed them.
hold
You
on.
mean something they don't do.
Create, don't, my brother.
Misinform the people.
If
It's not misinformation.
hold
That
on,
is the reality.
you see the problem.
Let's take it one at a
Let's
time.
let's get it very
Let's take it
clear.
one at a time.
Don't forget the various secondary schools and primary schools in Edo State. That school was a service point for them. The teachers you get that find themselves in these various schools usually were coming from the colleges of education. That's where you train them with the ability to teach our children. If the University of Education had issues and couldn't run, however, the college, because it was like an upgrade. If the process of upgrading it is becoming a problem, what was wrong with the College of Education in itself? Why did it not continue to run rather than shut it down? You hold staff bound, 30 months you have not paid. You block your ears like Pharaoh. You don't want to listen to their cries and yearnings. Today, these people have families. They cannot feed their family because they are not jobless. They have a job, but they are jobless, as it were. We talk about the College of Agriculture. Talk about the College of Agriculture. The school was in existence where they shut it down abruptly. I agree with you, I've been there. The school in itself is a shadow of itself. The structures are not fit for it. It's likely to a poultry. If we have to be sincere to ourselves, it was good that they needed to build it. But government must not work like we are in a military regime. Things can be done systematically. You don't act like a military dictator who come and just give directive without minding the outcome of those whose decisions will be affected. That is not democracy. I concede that from the last I saw, there are development going on there. I concede quite quickly. I have also seen pictures from the College of Education Abudu. Beautiful structures have again gotten in there. I have never said the governor of the day is not doing. No government at any point in time can be said to have been in power for 4 or 8 years without doing one thing. But the question is needs. Have they been able? Because government is a continuum. If you get into power, the government have done to an extent, expect that you consolidate, particularly when you were part of the government for 8 years, leading to when you came into power. These are some of the issues. And I feel that in all this, the government must look into the cries and yearnings of the teachers.
Very important.
From College of
Education.
Education.
Very important.
They are suffering. People can't have a job. You on your own shut down the school and you have refused to pay them. These are civil servants. Their appointment is garb and sable with statutory flavor. You can't hire and fire them. Their job is a creation of law. You must look into their plight. They cry on a daily basis, and it seems that nothing is being done. And just also add, with respect to the issue of committee, it took the governor almost a year to appoint commissioners. I had expected that the three problems were being resolved within that time. There is no time.
All right, guys.
There's no time.
My time is up on this conversation, but I just want to give our other two speakers 1 minute each to quickly do a wrap up. Yes, let's get started with you, Harrison.
Well, I want to thank my brothers here who have all spoken well. Our interest to get a better Edo. For me, I want to appeal to the state government. You have done well. The people is actually applauding you. But the lecturers in College of Education, I want to appeal that they need to be called and their salary need to be paid. I have a friend who and a wife, they work in that place. And we are very close. And anytime we discuss the matter, it's almost becoming a physical battle. So I understand what they are going through. Whatever been the issues, I think they came out to apologize the other time. Because what they asked them to do at the beginning, they refused to do. I also met one of the person who led that protest that day. I think Mr. Abu also. I met him, he just told me that he sold his car. I'm telling you reality. So I want to appeal.
Sold his car
he
for
said
Survivor.
He sold his car for Survivor. I want to appeal that they called them together. They have apologized. He told me that they are ready to apologize again, that they refused to do what the governor asked them to do. That is what he told me. So let them bring them together so that the government can see how it can
Daniel,
pay their arrears.
I want to appeal to the governor of Edo State to show empathy on the people. It should be more, his project should be people oriented. For instance, if he is demolishing an hospital that is the people's hospital, the cheapest hospital where any poor average person can run to, if he's going to demolish that, he's anti the people. He's not feeling the pulse of the people. If he's going to bring in a park, the park has nothing to do for the people of Edo. Anything that he's doing, he should please think about the people of Edo. He's never concerned about the people of Edo. And the people of Edo overwhelmingly voted.
That is your personal opinion.
To say he's never concerned.
Edo people are happy.
I'm concerned about that.
The programs
personal
that
opinion.
I see him execute are inimical
Edo
to
people
the
are
well-being of Edo.
Look at your
They
brother.
are inimical.
The roads.
No, not the
The
roads.
roads,
is
the Central
substandard.
Park.
They
What
are
is-
substandard
Central
road.
Park.
What is
They are
substandard?
substandard road.
Yeah.
The road that
Those
is
are
going
actually substandard.
is
Who said?
substandard road. The
Which
roads
road?
that is going
Go to Ekenwa Road.
Go to Ekenwa Road. The people of Ekenwa are crying.
They are rejoicing. Go to Texabe Road.
Because if you go to the down part of Ekenwa Road, it is the
It's work in progress now.
For more than 3 years,
It's work in progress. Oshobole did Pepotro for 8 years.
Let me
it should be more
Oshobole worked in Pepotro for 8 years.
This is not the end of this discussion.
No, it's a gradual process. You will see everything is going to be
We're going to have
completed.
sections on this.
We are not going to leave
conversations
any project
in the
abandoned.
days to come. So let me
No
thank you
project will be
very
abandoned.
especially Daniel Egile. Thank you for coming. Harrison Izeko, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Rest of Yahweh, we appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Bishop Austin Igbasa will be joining me shortly. We'll look at prophetic utterances and 2021. Stay with me on TMI on Monday.